Ambition without presence turns the journey into a burden instead of a privilege. I want to start here because this is something I think so many ambitious people quietly struggle with, and especially at the beginning of the new year. When you have a clear vision, when you know exactly where it is you're going, it's easy to treat your current life like a waiting room. Like everything right now is just something to get through until the quote unquote real version of your life actually begins. But the problem with this mindset is that it trains you to postpone joy. You start believing that your peace and your happiness and your fulfillment are rewards that you earn later, instead of experiences that you're allowed to have along the way. And slowly over time, without even really realizing it, ambition, which is something that's supposed to be and feel incredibly empowering, starts to feel heavy. Finding joy in the in-between is what changes that. The in-between is the space that exists between where you are now and where it is you want to go. It's the space between who you are and who you're becoming, between the vision and that vision becoming a reality. Most people resent this space. Most people treat this space as a means to an end, as something they just have to get over. They see it as slow. They see it as frustrating, or they see it as simply insignificant. The ones who are able to look at this gap, look at this space as something that is incredibly significant, something that builds character, something that forms discipline, something that builds confidence. Those are the ones that are able to soak up all the information that you get within that space and ultimately thrive, not only get to their goals, but reach far beyond the initial goals that they've set. When you refuse to be present in that space, the journey feels like a constant state of lack. You're always going to feel behind. You're always going to feel like you're reaching for something that's just beyond your reach. You're always going to feel like you're chasing something. You're always going to feel like you're waiting for life to start if you are unable to be present in that gap, in that in-between phase. Presence turns that same journey into something incredibly meaningful. When I think about the people who I admire most, these people are incredibly grounded and calm and anchored in who it is they are. They have a clear vision. They know where it is they're going. They know who it is they're becoming. If you ask these people what it is they're working on or where it is they're going, they can tell you clearly to a T. These people move with passion. They move with conviction, but their energy is incredibly relaxed. There's no desperation in the way that they move and in the way that they carry themselves. They're not frantically grasping for outcomes. They don't have this desperate attachment to the things that they're working toward. Now, this doesn't mean that they don't care. They care deeply. What's different is that they trust themselves. They're anchored in who it is they are, not who they'll become once they make it. They understand that their responsibility is to show up every single day and be consistent. Beyond that, they let it go completely. They embrace the present moment. They embrace the step that they're currently taking while holding that vision in their mind. They trust that by doing what it is they can do, by focusing on what it is they can control, eventually they'll reach their goal. They'll get to the places that they want to get to. But in the meantime, they're present. They're not overlooking the present moment. And this is where ambition becomes a privilege instead of it becoming something heavy or a burden. When you stop resenting the gap and you learn to embrace the present moment, you allow ambition to feel expansive instead of constricting. You stop using your goals as a reason to be hard on yourself. You stop seeing rest or joy or presence as distractions. Instead, you realize that they're part of what sustains you and helps push you forward. You start to realize that you're allowed to enjoy your life as you take action toward your goals. You're allowed to enjoy your life and want more for yourself at the same time. Those two things don't cancel each other out. In fact, if you ask me, they support each other. If you're working towards something big, something meaningful, something that you know is going to require a lot out of you, maybe you're building a business or you're getting ready to train for a marathon, or you have this creative project that you know is going to take a lot out of you. If you only care about reaching that finish line, the months of preparation, let's say, are going to feel miserable. Every early morning you wake up to work on X thing is going to feel like a huge sacrifice. Every step you take is going to feel insignificant because you're just focused on that finish line. You're focused on something that feels so distant, so far away. Now, when you're present, everything changes. You notice the significance and the strength that you're building in every single step. You start to find more flow and more rhythm in what it is you're doing on a day-to-day basis. The things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis to help you reach your goal that again feels so distant stops feeling like a punishment and something that you just have to get through, and instead it starts to feel like proof that you're growing, you're expanding, you're evolving. It's proof that you're capable. It's proof that you're becoming more disciplined. It's proof that you're committed to something. You start to see the journey itself as something that is incredibly rewarding. The more present you become, the more you start to really value and start to see how significant that in-between phase really is. You're no longer rushing through your days to get to the next milestone or to get to that finish line. You're here, you're present. You realize that the greatest gift is life, and life is only now. Life is only in the present moment. Why are you rushing through that just to reach some goal, just to arrive at some destination? Because that feeling of arrival is temporary. You're always going to have a new goal, something else that you want. If you are an ambitious person, that desire for more isn't going to change once you reach your goal. And if you've trained yourself over time, slowly over time, to feel like you're missing something until you reach some goal or get to some destination, you're essentially pressing pause on your feelings of happiness and fulfillment until you reach somewhere externally. But if you're so ambitious and you're always constantly striving for more, you're never really going to feel the way that you want to feel. You have access to peace and happiness and fulfillment here and now in the present moment. When you start to find joy in that in-between phase that you're in, that doesn't mean that you're lowering your standards or you're letting go of your vision. It just means that you're releasing your belief that your life is on hold. It means recognizing that this version of you, the one in progress, deserves to be recognized, deserves to be present, deserves to be appreciated. If you can't honor yourself now, there will never be a version of yourself that you get to in the future, a future version of yourself that will feel like enough. Presence is what truly anchors your ambition so that over time it doesn't turn into pressure. So let yourself be here fully. Let yourself embrace presence. Let yourself embrace the fact that you are in this in-between phase. And just because you're in this in-between phase, you're still allowed to enjoy life. You're allowed to feel the way that you want to feel. You're allowed to feel peace and happiness and fulfillment. Show up with conviction. Show up every single day, willing to work, willing to put in the effort to get to where it is you want to go. That is your responsibility. But then surrender. Let go of expectations. Stop trying to control everything. Let life meet you where it is you are. And then be open to how things shape and how things unfold to help get you to where it is you want to be. Feeling like you need to control everything, feeling like you need to have all the answers isn't going to help you move any quicker. When your ambition is paired with presence, the journey will stop feeling like something that you are enduring, something that you just have to get through. And it will start to feel like something that you are genuinely lucky to experience and live. Pair your ambition with presence. That is the message of this recording. So I hope you got some value from listening to this. Genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I hope you got some value from listening to this. I hope you're having an amazing day wherever you are listening to this. Thank you very much for being a part of Presence of Being. If you have any comments or any recommendations for future recordings, my DMs are always open. I really appreciate you listening, and I will see you in the next recording very soon.